Hello, Generals, and welcome back into yet another Tuesday edition of the 5-Star News. I'm Carter Smith.
And I'm Court Babin. And Carter, good to see you this morning, my man.
You too, Court. A lot of seniors missed yesterday due to senior skip day.
Yeah, a lot of them did miss, but let's get right into the news.
Sounds good, and we'll start with our announcement segment of the show. We call it What's Up Heritage. Roll it, guys.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm Emily, and this is Ava, and we have a few big school announcements to tell y'all.
So let's get into it.
Map testing is today and Thursday during first blog. We will have modified schedule because of it. Make sure to show up and try your best.
Teacher Appreciation Week is next week, May 6th through the 10th. Make sure to go appreciate your teachers for everything they do for us.
The Heritage Middle School will be showing their Little Mermaid production to any high schoolers who bring $3 at 1.
Now let's go over to Rory for the 4-day weather forecast.
Thanks, Ava. Yes, let's jump right into the 4-day weather forecast.
This week will be pretty warm, starting off with Tuesday having thunderstorms with a high of 74 and a low of 56. Wednesday will be cloudy with a high of 82 and a low of 55. Thursday will be sunny with a high of 80 and a low of 64. And lastly, Friday, there will be showers with a high of 77 and a low of 61. Have a great week.
Now let's go on to Jackson and Carter for more news.
Thanks, ladies. Well done as always.
To the news now, Court, and we are leading off today's show with a recap of last Saturday's junior-senior prom.
Yep, it was a marvelous night up at the Commons in Collegedale, Tennessee.
Food, dancing, games, and ton of pictures all took place.
Yes, and we also got to find out who is this year's prom king and queens were as well, Carter.
True. And for a recap of all of those festivities and more, let's get you over to 5-Star News reporters David Butler for more.
Prom 2024 was the best prom Heritage High School has ever seen.
It was a huge hit, a lot of kids.
500, over 500.
Wow. And Miss Parker was the real MVP.
The DJ was on point. I think that everybody loved the 360 photo booth.
I went in the 360 photo booth as well. Twice. I got to say that the dance floor was hopping.
Oh.
Gabe Watts put on a show.
Yes. It was a good time. If you didn't come, you missed out.
I'm extremely honored to have been crowned prom queen. It was really, honestly, a surprise for me because there's just so many amazing and beautiful girls in the entire senior class. It was a huge honor. I would say prom overall was just an amazing time. It was a time for me to get loose with my friends and get to dress up and have fun for a night.
Well, I went with a group of 8, including myself, and we went and took pictures before, went out and ate, had a fun time. And then we roll up to prom a little bit too late almost, and I show up and maybe get into the edges of all the circles, and probably I would say 10 minutes later, Bradford gets over the announcements and calls out, so it's time to announce who wins, right? And I was like, oh man, I'm one of the guys. I wonder if I got it. And he says prom king is first. I was like, oh, let's see. And I won it. And so I was like, yes. I couldn't find Bradford either. I went wandering around aimlessly. He's like, where's he at?
Looks like everyone had a great time. Congrats to Grayson and Emily and to everyone that took part in this year's prom.
Moving on now to our health occupations, and Miss Henley and Miss Johnson put on their annual spring blood drive last Friday.
Yes, and our students always show heavy participation in this event, and Friday was no different.
No, it wasn't, Court. The blood assurance vein train seemed busy all day.
Our 5-Star News reporters Stephen Solomon and Jace Perez spent some time down at the event and filled this report.
Okay, I am signed up to give blood today at our blood drive, and I encourage everybody to always sign up if they have an opportunity. It's such a wonderful thing for the recipients. My own child is a plasma recipient, actually, so I feel very passionately about giving and encouraging other people to give.
We have our spring blood drive going on right now with blood assurance. We've got students that are working to get students out of class to go out to the vans and donate. At this time, we've got about 92 or 93 students, faculty, and staff signed up to donate. of those people signed up, some people may not be able to donate due to illness or low blood count. They actually screen you before they actually hook you up to draw that off. The blood that we donate here at Heritage High School will be used locally in area hospitals for trauma cases or people that are needing blood products. This is one way that HOSA, Heritage High School, and our community give back to others that are in need.
Congrats to all that donated. Definitely a great service to our community.
Sticking with our career tech classes, the public safety and health art classes teamed up to put on a rather cool event last Friday as well.
As if the blood drive wasn't enough, Officer Edwards and Miss Henley and Miss Johnson classes had their annual Officer Down scenario on campus as well.
The drill is an opportunity for those classes to join and see what it's like to be on real life in an emergency scene.
Sounds pretty exciting.
It was. Broadcasting joined in as well to provide the media coverage aspect. How did it all turn out and what did our students learn? Here's 5-star news reporters Parker Scott and Aiden Bilberry with the report.
So Friday we conducted our Officer Down / mass casualty drill. This is the second year that we've done that. It's a drill that we do with the health occupations emergency response class, and it's a great opportunity for both classes, the students in there, to use the skills that they've learned throughout the entire pathway. The public safety class is given a scenario and they'll go in and they will basically clear out any type of issues there may be, secure the scene, and then they will call for medical rescue, and the medical rescue will come in and they will help render aid to the students that are down.
Officer Down drill with public safety, the EMR students came in and provided medical care to perpetrator bystanders, officers that had been shot during an altercation. It was a lot of fun.
Our Officer Down rescue we had Friday was a pretty good success. We trained for this all semester, doing different labs. It's kind of fun having EMR combined with us, two classes into one. It was definitely stressful. Definitely wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but we went in there and got it done. It was kind of cool having multiple victims. Definitely wasn't expecting that, maybe one or two, but definitely not four. And having somebody shooting back at us while trying to care for those victims.
It was really fun. It was like putting everything together with what we've learned, and so actually acting it out was good to do.
Was it stressful?
It was very stressful. We didn't really know anything about the actual scene, so we had to think on the spot with everything we were doing. It was more realistic than I thought it would be. Ms. Henley's really good at making fake wounds on everybody. I would say it was pretty spot on to real things we've seen.
The students seem like they really enjoyed it, and it seems like it's pretty invaluable training for them, and it's something that they can take with them when they leave here.
Now that did look really cool.
And finally to something pretty cool as well. For National English Honor Society's senior student, Briley Simpson.
Yep, Simpson took part in a writing essay for Miss McColl's English class.
And guess what? Simpson won the contest and $1,000 scholarship that went to this winner.
Nice. We talked to Briley and Miss McColl last Friday about her accomplishment.
The scholarship that Briley won is the National English Honor Society Common Read Scholarship for writing an essay over a book called The Botanist's Daughter by Katie Nunn.
So basically, this scholarship was for the NEHS Book of the Year, and thankfully I had already written my research paper on this book for Miss Tollett's class. So when the scholarship application opened, they all told me that I should apply because I already basically wrote the scholarship thing.
I'm really proud of Briley because she entered her writing in a competition against people internationally and was in the top 10% of best writing.
Congrats, Briley, and good work.
Time for a commercial now.
Yeah, but the show ain't over yet, Carter.
Nope, we still have sports and entertainment. Stick with us, those stories and more coming your way next.
I better go check the lost and found.
Sports time here on the show. In court, we have two big stories ready to roll today.
Yep, baseball and basketball to talk about. And we'll start with baseball as Coach Singer's team is getting set to play Seconder in the Sweet 16 of the GHSA state playoffs.
We sure are, Court. There are 2 out of 3 game series begins tomorrow right here at the Taj.
What do we know about Seconder, Owen?
Well, not much, but we do know that each round you advance, the better the team gets.
True. Well, let's get a quick preview of the matchup now. Take it away, guys.
We have Seconder coming in out of Buford, and they're a solid baseball team. They've got a really good arm that's going to start against us in game 1. The shortstop can play pretty well. Third baseman's pretty solid. Overall, they're going to be a really tough team to beat, but we welcome the challenge and can't wait to get out on the field against them.
So today we play Seconder at home for the second round of state, and it's going to be a good game. They've got a really good arm throwing game 1, and but we also have a really good arm throwing game 1 and game 2. We just need to be able to play the baseball that we know we can play and that we are able to play, and I feel if we play that baseball, then we'll be good and we'll come out with the win. Game time is at 3, so students, get your tickets and come out and support us.
Sounds like a plan, Generals.
To basketball now, and awards and accolades keep flying in for members of our girls basketball team.
Yes, and Macy Collins in particular. She was named late last week to the Chattanooga Times Free Press Best of Prep team.
That's a really big honor. For more on this report, here's Braden Ford and Andrew Moore.
So Macy Collins was our Region Player of the Year, which is an awesome honor. She's only a junior, so we get her back next year. And, you know, when Macy was on, our whole team rolled with her, and she's a great leader on the floor, just a force to be reckoned with. On the floor, she can go inside, she could shoot the 3, and so teams just had a hard time guarding her.
It feels good. I got it last year, so I was happy that I got it again. It's a cool experience to go to a banquet with all of the best players in the area.
And we are so excited to have her back next year, and our whole team pretty much is coming back, and so we expect, you know, nothing but the same as this year, except we're hoping to get a region title out of it next year.
It feels good. We had a good season, so it feels good to get recognized like that.
But we're super proud of Macy, and we just can't wait to see what she does next year.
Thanks for sports, you two.
To entertainment now. And our video game guru, Kieran Freed, is back with us today for a 2-part report on this week's game called Outer Wilds.
2-part?
Wow, he must have had a lot to say about this one, Carter.
I'm guessing, and I did hear him raving about it yesterday.
Well, let's get to part 1.
Hello, and welcome back to Game Rate, where we rate your favorite games based on story, gameplay, and graphics. I'm your host Kieran, and today we're venturing through Outer Wilds. So set up your campfire and grab some marshmallows as we get into the basics. Outer Wilds is a non-linear adventure game made in 2019 by Mobius Digital. In Outer Wilds, you're kind of like a space archaeologist. You travel through every planet in your solar system to learn more about an ancient alien race with 3 eyes that came to your solar system for a reason we'll discuss later. But first, you gotta grab your launch codes from the observatory and say goodbye to all your friends in the village. Now that we can head out, let's launch into the story. You play as a brand new astronaut in the Outer Wilds Ventures, who is most likely the youngest on the team since everyone calls them Hatchling. You wake up under the stars, as all astronauts did when they had their first launch. And then you head to the observatory to grab your launch codes. On the way, you should talk to everyone you can, because the village has the most people you can talk to. People aren't really that common in space. After some quick pre-launch repair training in the Zero-G cave, you finally get to the observatory, which is also kind of a museum. Checking out all the exhibits will give you a pretty idea of what you'll find. My personal favorite is the demonstration of macroscopic quantum physics. Look at that, it moved. After talking to Hornfells and getting your launch codes, a statue made by the Nomai, the 3-eyed aliens, stares into your soul and shows you the past few minutes of your gameplay. Thinking nothing of it, you ready your translator and head off into space. You learn a bit on the moon of Timber Hearth called the Attlerock, such as the Nomai are here to find some weird thing called the Eye of the Universe, and they built something to locate the signal, but it just pointed around in random directions, so the Nomai had to find a better way to locate the eye. A few minutes pass, and you've learned a bit more, but since this game progresses through knowledge, I won't tell you anything else other than a nice song starts to play, and lucky you, you're traveling to another planet. But after the song stops, the sun kinda, maybe sorta goes supernova. So what? That's just it? This is the life-changing game I talked about in Info Dump? Oh no, you've barely scratched the surface. Surprise, you're in a time loop. But wait, won't I lose my ship log? You might be saying. Not at all, my dear friend. That statue that stared into your soul put you in this time loop, and one of your friends out in space, specifically Gabbro, my favorite, used a fragment of a statue as your ship's hard drive. Congrats! You and your ship are somewhat immortal for the whole duration of the game. Now get out there and uncover those Nomai secrets. The story, including absolutely everything that I can't tell you, gets an absolutely wonderful 10 out of 10. You know that one game that I said could possibly beat Hollow Knight's story? This is that game, and Hollow Knight doesn't even come close. And the craziest part is that this game was made because of a single banjo melody, which is the same melody that Rebik plays in-game. Now let's get on to the gameplay. In part 2. I'm sorry, but the entirety of this game rate is gonna be 6 minutes long, so I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but thank you, and I will see you on Friday, where we have part 2 of Outer Wilds queued up.
Thanks, Kieran. Look forward to part 2.
On to music now, in another installment of Nut Metal.
What's Ethan's topic this time?
This week, it's death metal. Roll it, guys!
Well, hey again, it's Ethan Nut, and here's another Nut Metal. Since you guys really like it, for all the metalheads out there today, we're going to be talking about deathcore death metal. There's a lot about deathcore that I like, hopefully you'll like. Let's get started. Deathcore is a very, very heavy type of metal using growls and very hard vocals that sound like a monster that came out of them. They usually use fast riffs, fast foot pedal, and hard drums, which I really like. You can never have too much foot pedal, in my opinion. Like I said in the last video, there are a lot of genres of metal, and till the end of the school year, we'll probably get through half of it. Probably not even half of it. And this is my last year here, so I'm going to go out on a high note and get some metal into it. Enough of that sentimental stuff. Time to get into the band, shall we? First up, we have Lorna Shore. Second up, we have Killswitch Engage.
Waking the misery of being without you. Surrender.
Coming up on third, we have Bring Me the Horizon. Finale is Ice 9 Kills.
Hello, Clarice, nothing's free at this meet and greet. Quid pro quo as we go, spitting any just.
Like I said, there's so much to talk about in so little time, so to describe it in a few words is heavy and hard. That basically boils it down to its core. When it gets really heavy, some people make the stank face. It's pretty funny to look at. That's when you know when a heavy metal fan likes the music. I did my best not to make the face in class so people won't wonder in the head, what's with that face? Is he having a stroke? Yeah, that's basically it for this segment. Hopefully, I'll get to see you in the next Nut Metal, when we are going to talk about cyber metal. I'm the host, Ethan Nutt, and we'll see you in the next Nut Metal.
And with that, we'll wrap up this Tuesday edition of the 5-Star News.
But fear not, we'll be back with you on Friday for another brand new report.
But until then, have a great week, and as always, stay classy heritage.